And we welcome you to Southern Virginia University Night Broadcasting. I am Scotty Winterton with my colleague Adam Peterson. We are joining you live here in Buena Vista, Virginia. Slightly overcast day up here at the fields. We have two quality programs with the Southern Virginia University men's lacrosse team going up against the LaGrange College Panthers. This is a conference contest in the USA South, a big opportunity for both schools. LaGrange has yet to play a conference game, 0-0 in conference. They come in with a 3-4 overall record. The Knights are 3-2. They played their very first USA South conference game on Wednesday against Averett, pulling off a decisive 20-4 victory. LaGrange is also coming off a couple very decisive wins against Warren Wilson College, 27-4, and Point University, 29-5. So both teams coming in riding a wave of victories. The Knights had a bit more difficult schedule to start the season, going up against the number 16 and the number 20 teams preseason in the country, as well as a very quality team in Baldwin Wallace and also Barry University, pulling out 1-point wins in both those games. Adam, this should be an interesting contest, especially since it's LaGrange's first conference game.
Yeah, conference game always brings a different energy, especially that first one against a team that is new to your conference in the Southern Virginia University Knights. Always want to put on your best face against a new team in the conference, and you know that the Panthers are going to give that to you.
Tennyson Schmidt comes up with that ground ball. Everybody on the team that's not a face-off guy or playing on a face-off wing, he is really impressive. He and Sean Lamb both have a ton of ground balls. Sean with 15, Tennyson with 14 on the season. Really important for those attackmen to be all over it. Turnover comes, and we'll see LaGrange in their first offensive opportunity. This ball was with number 4. He's their leading point scorer. That's Aiden Story. He has 28 points on the season, 16 goals, 12 assists. By far their most prolific scorer.
Yeah, we're going to – whistle was blown because the Panthers were offsides, but there was a previous flag thrown for a slash. Looked like it's going to be called on Jaden Arnold. So the Panthers will have their first man-up opportunity of the day.
The Knights in their last game did a great job against Averett man down. 6 times they were man down, did not give up a single goal.
And the Panthers have really struggled this season, just barely over 20%, 8 of 39 on man-up opportunities this year.
LaGrange in a 1-4-1 set. They'll probably move out of this as they start rotating. It's a 1-minute penalty, so we just see him swinging the ball around. We see him rotating, pop out down low. Story looked like he wanted to shoot. Didn't have the ball before he could shoot. Ball on the ground, stick on the ground. Michael Poteet had the ball, but lost his stick with the ball. And now JT Couturier, great job clearing. The Knights will kill off that first penalty without giving up a single shot.
Yeah, you're right. I think Story was just looking at the goal, just took his eye off the pass a split second too soon, and that's why the ball ends up on the floor. Good job by the Knights.
Knights with Eric Knorr, Ty Veers on the first line. Also running Sterling Thatcher on this first midfield line. Sean Lamb getting to his strong left hand. What a save. Coming across face. Fantastic save for the Panthers goalie. Borer has played most of the season. A couple opportunities here and there for other players to step in. aggressive play off the stick of Garrison Cook. It's Alumni weekend here for the Knights lacrosse team, and Garrison's the younger brother of a standout lacrosse player, Brady Cook.
Sure, Garrison will be looking to get his third goal on the season. Added a second one in the last game against Averett.
Quality ground ball from Justin Mitchell. Recently signed to go play at Southern Utah University for a graduate school year while he's going to business school there. Excellent standout football player for the Knights as a safety.
No, he's excited for that new challenge.
He and his wife. And the great shot coming back across his body in his left hand. You know that Ty Veers is going to put that stick back into his right hand to get that shot. As a defender, you got to understand that if that offensive player can get underneath you into his strong hand, they did a good job shading him to his weak hand. But if you're going to allow the offensive player to get underneath you without physical contact, he's going to take it. And there was plenty of angle once he put it into his right hand to see the goal. You talk about the lacrosse stick. Your eyes can see a certain part of the goal, but the stick, when you get it away from your body, has its own eyes. It can see more of the goal in that case as the stick was towards the middle of the field.
And that's why he was able to go all the way around Bohr there on that one. Bohr probably thought Ty was trying to go 5-hole on that one, which is what you see a lot with that decreased angle. But like you said, because he had that stick in the right hand, able to increase that angle and go all the way around. Well, the second line midfield out for the Knights with Connor Hackey, Landon Barney, and Bryce Gardner.
Gabe King coming off a 3-goal performance against Averett, trying to get that ground ball. Can't do it. Push call. It'll go into the hands of the Knights. They'll look to re-trigger from the midfield. 60-second shot clock will reset. And Landon Barney, who's really starting to come into his own on these long dodges. He's going to draw the LSM. It's Travis McDonald. Smart with this midfield line, really smart to put the LSM on Barney. Big, strong player, and there he just runs by. Quick pass to Hackey. Bohr goes down with an incredible save on his feet. Hackey dropped his stick. Goalie went down. I think Hackey could have taken that ball and brought it top shelf. Would have had a better shot putting that in the cage. Bohr playing very athletic against this 10-man ride, and he'll take a shot in the open cage. And refs are kind of conditioned. I mean, is that a pass or a shot? Well, refs kind of know how teams are playing against a 10-man ride with an open cage. And I think they're kind of conditioned now to look at those as shots, whereas maybe 3 or 4 years ago they would have look at that as a pass.
Yeah, as long as it's pretty close, the offense or the team clearing is always going to get the benefit of the doubt. Good interception there by Garrison Cook. Starts the fast break.
Into the hands of Carter Bean. Missed shot there, hit the ground. Yeah, with the defense getting on hands, Justin Mitchell doing a great job getting on the hands of the attackman, allowing the pass to be a little soft. And then, as you said, Garrison Cook, stick in the passing lane, grabs it and goes. He may have been looking for his own there, but did a great job moving the ball ahead to Carter Bean. Captain. Really kept this team going through the COVID. Left-handed shot goes high and wide. Carter did so much in the COVID, shortened season as well as last year, even though they had a bit more of a season. Just did a great job keeping the team together, coming back for a COVID season. A couple players doing that. Sean Lamb, Isaac DeJarlis. Eric Knorr steps in at 12 yards, fires away. Another save by Bohr. Third save on the afternoon already. Good and bad. It means he's seeing shots. Not necessarily happy if you're a Panthers fan with that. And he's seeing the ball so well. Sterling Thatcher puts a stick side.
Yeah, pass from Sean Lamb was just a little too late. Sterling had started his curl down and was open for a couple seconds before Sean finally found him. Gave the defense time to recover, and that caused the little hitch jump shot from probably a little too far out for Sterling at this point in his career.
They're going to give that ball to the goalie. I'm not sure the referee, he didn't give Ty Veers behind him the benefit of the doubt. So that shot from Lamb sails wide. Going to be backed up by the goalie. The Knights not in their 10-man. Solid clear from Selassie Richardson. Turnover now coming right back in. This is a very dangerous spot when Sean Lamb's on his left hand. Tries to go behind the back. He was running out of angle. I think he still had a little bit to shoot with. Decided to go behind the back to increase his angle. Misses wide, and Gabe King will pick the ball up in the far corner. On the season, Lamb comes in leading the Knights with 24 points, 15 goals, 9 assists, followed by Schmidt with 14 points and 5 assists. Schmidt asked to be a little bit different kind of player this year with Chandler Westcott graduating, a little bit more of an initiator, and hard shot by King, but again, just right into that right hand, waiting for it. Trying to clear this ball. Will Howell, another yard sale, stick on the ground. Can't play without your stick.
Yeah, that was a great check by Brad there with the ground ball rolling right to Story. Just perfectly timed check, and there's a...
So what they're going to say is Eric Nord dove into the crease and made contact with the goalie. And they're going to say that's of his own initiative. And if that's the case and you make contact with the goalie, it'll wave the goal off. The 10-man ride putting lots of pressure as Seth Millington just waiting for that pull to come across. LaGrange may have practiced and tried to prepare for this, but it's a whole nother situation going up against a team that kind of lives and breathes and sometimes dies by the 10-man ride. That's not a shot you want to give up to Ty Veers. Travis McDonald just kind of sitting there. Felt like he could have taken 2 quick steps, getting on the hands of Ty. He was in a good position to not give Ty a more upfield dodge to his strong right hand, and never stepped in. And Ty kept stepping, and then you're 5 yards from the cage. I'm not sure what Bohr would have done with that.
Yeah, no. You mentioned it. McDonald put his goalie in a really tough spot there.
Bohr with a 14 goal per game average and a 49.2% save percentage, which is respectable. It's nice to see. For the Knights, they actually have Caleb Brody back in the net. Had a bit of a lower leg injury. That's been taken care of. So starting goalie at the beginning of the season is back in there. Only played 54 minutes so far on the season, giving up 13 goals per game, 47% save. Knights switching on the pick. Top left shelf, but that's a left-handed goalie sitting there waiting for it.
Yeah, Knights really switching up their clear today, just trying to go quick. This is the second time we've seen the ball get to JT really fast and just let him go to work, which is a pretty good option with his athleticism. And talk about athleticism right there with Sean Lamb. A little toe drag, got to the spot he wanted, picks his bottom left corner.
So that fade shot has really come into vogue with a couple of professional players that began doing this about 7-8 years ago, where you saw Sean Lamb appropriately getting shut off to his right hand. Defender did not want to give Sean Sean's left hand. Did not want to give Sean his left hand. So Sean pushes in, and then he steps down to his right and fades back just a little bit, and taking an underhand shot by creating space stepping back, he really just ends up making it a left-handed dodge. And as long as you don't get too low as you fade on that away from the defender, and shooting it underhand allows you to keep the stick away from the defender. Execution was perfect. Placement was great. Far left pipe. Sean now getting his left hand. Tennyson Schmidt. Perfect spot for him. He goes bounce shot on the right-hand side. Not able to get it on cage. 45 seconds on the shot clock. The Knights really dominating time of possession right now as Gabe King drives. Great find, though, off the pipe. It looks like it might have gone in. None of the referees are signaling goal. It looked like it hit the net and just came back out. It came back out so soft. I mean, you have to know that's a goal by how it came out of the cage. If that was a pipe, it would have come out much faster.
Well, especially at a shot from 5 yards, as that was a pretty good move by Gabe King.
So he gives the ball to his teammate. That was number 8, Zach Sullivan. Should have been his goal. Goal does not count, so Gabe King says, fine, I'll do it myself. So my kids used to say when they were little, do it myself. All right, you go, Gabe. Great shot. Gabe King, the freshman. King, a freshman from Heber City, Utah, went to Wasatch High School, not necessarily known as a powerhouse in the Rocky Mountain area for lacrosse, but has produced a few really good players, Gabe King being one of them. Really improved over the last couple months as he's figured out what college lacrosse on the East Coast, the speed of the game, and how you have to protect your stick and really work a lot harder with your feet than with your athleticism. Everybody there, the number of players around the country that have a 95-mile-an-hour shot, they're a dime a dozen. What sets you apart in the college world is how can you get to that shot.
Yeah, and he did a good job there, getting a good setup. Another little toe drag, second in 2 possessions from our left-handed attackman. This time, though, Gabe just using his body. No one really wanted to slide to big Gabe King, and that probably going back to his high school years, that is a goal he would have gotten a lot in high school. Defense afraid to slide to him, and easy finish.
Yeah, you would think that the Panthers would come a little bit stronger on that slide, body it up. He did a good job taking what was given to him and then finishing. Good location on the shot against a goalie that's playing really well. Boer's playing fantastic. Already 7 saves. Also, though, that's a function of – and the great shot just underneath the stick of Boer in transition. Carter Bean is dangerous in transition. He already has 9 points on the season, and he's a defensive midi with 6 goals and 3 assists. He does stay out on man up, of which he has a number of goals. You just are going to have to slide to Carter when he's coming down off of face-offs or in transition.
First time we see Peyton Merwin, the freshman from Idaho Falls, at the face-off X. Doesn't have to work too hard. Panthers called for the violation. Knights get another possession, already up 5-0.
He's on the season 7 for 16 at 43%. Jaden Arnold taking the bulk of the face-offs for the Knights at a very good, very respectable 60%, 77 of 127. Thatcher had a shot, passes on it. The same shot kind of fading that we just talked about with Sean Lamb. If the defenseman is not going to be aggressive and get to your hands, you just step back and down 2 steps, shoot it underhand. You've got your hands free. Great job from Tennyson Schmidt As the slide was coming, he looks cross crease, no double. Nobody came down. Midfielder needs to come down from up top to cover the crease man's or the back side, depending on how the slide is coming. Nobody was there.
And you see Coach Brandon Sewell, head coach for the Panthers, talking to his defense about both of those things. One, the slide that we've seen, basically non-existent. If it's almost better if they don't go than how they're sliding right now. Just not sliding to body, not sliding to hands, making it really easy for the Knights. And then also you gotta fill down, and they're just not doing that and making things really hard on Bohr, who's playing really well, but with the amount of shots he's seeing from the locations of the places the Knights are getting shots from,
I would say he's made all the saves he should make except for one. I think he could have made that save against Carter Bean, but that was still tough. It was, 8 yards on the run. That was Peyton Merwin's, by the way, first shot on the season. Great job by him to get a shot off on that face-off. Slide. Rotation, a little late getting back to Schmidt. He'll get a left-handed shot off. Doesn't go. 37 seconds left on the shot clock. Knights with a 6-0 lead. 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Thatcher wanted that shot bad.
Good job by Seth Millington. Keeps the ball over.
Flexing on the backside. Something that you work at, literally will work on that. You put defenders at the midfield and work on that ball, because it's like the rule is if it goes off an offensive player, the impetus for the ball comes from the offense. If it goes back across the midfield line, it's an over and back call. It could deflect off of a defender, and then it's not an over and back. And so what you want is the offensive players who can put their stick over the line. They can't step over the line, but they can put their stick over. You want them to keep that ball on the offensive side of the field. Long shot as the Knights were set up to be in their 10-man. Wide open cage. I don't know about the sidearm version of that. Maybe just throw that thing overhand and trickle it in. But when you're under pressure like that, it's hard to think through those things. And the Knights will call a timeout. Get their defense properly on the field. Smart timeout by Coach Lamb. She gathers the offense around him. And Greg Gowdy over with the defensive coordinator, first-year defensive coordinator for the Knights. It's great to see a number of Knights alumni, of which, Adam Peterson, you are one. Back down here, I just saw a former coach, Maxfield is here. Coach Maxfield now at Utah Valley University, coaching out there, leading that program. We saw Mike Banger at the end of the first quarter and the end of the third quarter. End of the game, we're going to have a number of these alumni come up and talk with us about what they're doing in life. First one will be Nick Bear, former long stick midfielder, transfer from Utah State, Utah native. Now out working on his PhD at Brigham Young University. See Chandler Westcott down there with his wife Tori. Tori's actually alum of the soccer team as well. Excellent captain on that team. She is now working in student success at Southern Virginia University. Saw Derek Lamb, Coach Lamb's son, former goalie for the Knights in the early days of the Knights transition from a club MCLA team. Nice pass. It really had a difficult pickup on that. I mean, a high degree of difficulty to wrangle that ball into his stick and then finish on that left corner.
Yeah, that was a case of right place, right time. That pass was not intended for Story, but because he was in the right place, it was a difficult pickup off the turf.
I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was going to pretend it was meant for him. You're right. It was not.
But he picks it up and finds the back of the net, which is something that he's been doing all year. Was the
17th goal for him,
was the newcomer of the week just last week, as that shot goes just high for Arnold in the USA South was Story.
Yeah, he's a freshman from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Went to Steamboat Springs High School, 5'10", 180-pound freshman. Heck of a player, leading the team in scoring, as I mentioned, with 17 goals, 12 assists, 29 points on the year.
Yeah, and that's good for second in the conference in points and leading the conference in assists.
And he's really good about putting the ball on cage, 73% shot on goal percentage. As we see Gardner find his line mate, Hackey, takes a quick shot with 43 seconds left on the shot clock. Shooting percentage overall for Story, 43%, which is very good. Hackey with a little hitch. Now over to the left-handed Gardner as the Knights up top will transition to the other side. Nice pass to Tennyson Schmidt, who could not handle it. That was going to be a high degree chance of that ball going in. And then the pass was ill-advised because his teammate wasn't looking for it to Ben Bryan. Now back down to Knights. It's really this ride. This ride is just really playing havoc with the Panthers.
Yeah, and you mentioned it a little bit earlier on in the quarter. You can know that it's coming. You can prepare for it. But when you get here and have it right in front of you, it's just a totally different animal.
The Knights now with 14 shots on goal. Total of 25 shots as the quarter comes to an end. 6 turnovers, most of them in the clear for LaGrange. Has put their defense in a very difficult place where they're having to, it feels like they're playing constantly in transition and trying to manage through the failed clear. The Knights also have 5 turnovers, so not without some things of their own to clean up.
Yeah, and you look at the clears, if you're looking at the stats, LaGrange 6 of 9 on the clears, but you can take away at least 2 or maybe 3 of as soon as they get across the midline, which that's going to be counted technically as a clear for them, where the 10-man ride is really coming into play with Seth Millington jumping the ball carrier right at the 50 and causing a couple other turnovers.
So we have a nice tree. As I mentioned, we have Nick Bear joining us in the booth. Nick Bear, alumni at Southern Virginia University. Nick, you've traveled far and wide to come here. It's awesome to have you. I saw you came into the booth and saw you here. Talk about your time here. I mentioned a few minutes ago that you transferred from Utah State. Talk about your time here at SVU and your time on the team.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. I realized that I came back, but like after Utah State, after high school, I hadn't been in somewhere for more than a year. I hadn't been in a location for more than a year, and so I came back and I was felt this nostalgia of I'm home, and I was this is not where I grew up, nothing, but I was I felt like I'm home.
And a lot of our alumni feel like that when they
absolutely.
come back. They feel like they're coming home, and there's a number of your teammates that are down there.
Yep.
You were a standout player for the Knights at the midfield, ground ball wizard. So much fun to watch you play. Slight, svelte in terms of maybe overall, you're not 6'4" and 220 like some LSMs, but man, your stick and your ability to play this game was phenomenal. So you graduated, and then you have had an amazing opportunity for graduate school. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I'm going to grad school currently at BYU, doing my doctorate, getting my PhD.
In what?
In analytical chemistry is what I'm actually going to be going into. So I'm doing research and a lot of crazy stuff that's kind of pretty complicated and hard to explain a lot of times, but it's pretty fun. It's a good time.
Well, what was the impetus? You know, if you think back to what brought you out here to SVU to start with, what's kind of, if you had to maybe put that into just a few condensed words?
Yeah. So I remember I've always liked science and wanted to go into science. And I didn't, when I graduated high school, I looked into like SVU. And at the time, the information I got from people was that I just had a pre-med program. And I wasn't that big into like doing pre-med, and I want to go more science, so I didn't think it was an option. But later, I actually learned that like there's actually really amazing opportunities to get to know professors who are really qualified. Had like a bunch of professors who taught some big name schools, knew a lot about stuff, a lot of connections. So I thought this is going to be a great option to get some information from them, talk to them, and like learn what I can do, and like actually pick their brain and get to know about like what would be good for me and my future for grad school. And so it's a great opportunity to like learn from them, and then got good connections, got a connection to BYU, and then I got accepted and doing grad school there now. So it's been pretty fun.
Fantastic. You had a chance to watch some of this today. What do you think of what's going on out there?
Oh, it's great. I wish I was out there, obviously, but it's fantastic. It's fun to see them getting excited on the sideline and just that energy that comes with playing with the boys again. You know, it's fun. They're fired up. They're having a great time. They're having a blast out there.
6-1. I think they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, we're pretty happy.
Well, Nick, it's been awesome just having a minute to talk with you. You're exactly I think what SVU represents and what the university is trying to produce in terms of graduates and quality of men. Wish you luck and look forward to seeing you out there at halftime. I know you guys will be out there, kind of alumni celebration.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Nick.
Great, thanks.
So about a minute and a half into 2 minutes into the second quarter, Knights had a chance to score a couple times down there. I'm sure you guys were watching. Wonderful to hear from alumni. We'll have a chance to hear from a couple more throughout the game, the end of the third quarter, end of the fourth quarter as well. Knights, great job overall on defense, just limiting shots. Only 2 shots on goal thus far. This pass is on the ground, tracked down from Michael Poteet. 9 seconds left on the shot clock as Carter Bean. What a feed. That surprised me and has certainly surprised JT Couturier. He had no idea that pass was coming. It's the reason why when you're on the crease, you really need to work hard to be ball side anytime you're covering a man on the crease, or at the very least, be able to get a stick on his upfield shoulder if a pass should come in. That pass was on the money and in about a quarter of a second in the back of the goal.
Yeah, it was. Don't want to say a good cut because, as you mentioned, Richardson didn't have to do a whole lot there, just a little curl. And because the shot clock was winding down and it was hectic, JT wasn't necessarily ready, as you mentioned, ball side on that one. But got to give credit where credit is due. It was good catch and a good finish by Richardson.
Yeah, and the pass from Como was incredible. Really on the money, and clearly those two have worked together to make that happen. Como is the second leading point getter for the Panthers with 12 goals and 3 assists. Not necessarily the guy you would think would be the assist man with only 3 on the season, but nevertheless, that was perfect and allows the Panthers to cut the deficit to 4. We've got a timeout on the field.
Yeah, a little 2-goal run here. Got that one at the end of the first quarter, and now get the first goal here in the second quarter. Calling a timeout, getting something set up. If the Panthers can get a goal here and cut this lead to just 3, that will be huge for their momentum that really has been dominated so far in this game by the Knights.
Yeah, the 5-goal run that the Knights started the game with, 6-0, the 6-goal run. I mean, that you're looking at that all in the first quarter. if you were to project that out, you're looking at a 24-goal game, and there's just no way to keep up with that. But it's really come at the cost of, or on the heels of, the clearing and little time of possession. With some more time of possession, the ball in their sticks, they'll be able to cut down that pace as well as give themselves an opportunity to score as they have with these 2 goals. It's not really about goals per game. It's about efficiency. You can win 18-20 and have a really great defensive efficiency because you've seen 60 defensive possessions, and that's a quality efficiency. Or you can win 10-8 and have a bad efficiency. You saw only 20 possessions and gave up half. So the Knights are doing a really good job in efficiency right now, being aggressive, being on hands. See if the Panthers can find an opportunity just to maintain the ball a little bit. They're going to call a moving pick. You can't just keep staying in front. You just have to fall down. And JT Couturier says, I am bigger and stronger. I've spent more time in the weight room. Finds Isaac DeJarlis, who sails out on that pass. He gave everything he got. Couldn't quite find the cage. Sails high. Knights back it up. Pretty impressive play from both the defense and the clearing efforts of the Knights. Couturier could be called for an illegal play right there. If you dip your head and you drive that into the defender, they'll call that. But if you just are running down and run him over, that's a legal play.
Well, he didn't dip his head. I thought he could have been called for an extension of the arm. It was close. The referee was reaching for something and then didn't.
I always feel like it's when they can't find the flag and they just, oh, no, never mind.
Yeah. So it was close, but, yeah.
And there's the ghost, Tennyson Schmidt. You can't really ever tell where he's going to be when you're defending him, whether he's on ball or whether he's off ball. He's really hard to stay with, as evidenced by this. And then he needs maybe just to be at goal line extended to get his stick around and put the ball in the cage. It's a tough ask to defend Tennyson Schmidt because he's very different than most every other tackman you'll go up against. He's just unconventional. Product of Brighton High School, one of their standout players for a number of years. Built a really strong body on the back of Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew. The fine cross crease just outside the net. What a find from Ty Veers. Through ball to Tennyson Schmidt on the backside. Veers working hard to get to his right hand, takes the left-handed shot.
Yeah, Selassie Richardson was not going to let Ty get to the middle of the field.
Yeah, we call that, I don't mean we, but often you'll hear sometimes certain systems talking about playing a certain foot high above. So like in that instance, you don't want Ty Veers to go to his right hand, then you play what we call left foot, which try to get your left foot above him. That shades him down to his left hand, depending on how good a player is, left and right-handed. Great find, looking to go to Eric Knorr again. Ground ball missed. Quick shot coming from Carter Bean, who's staying out and playing some offense. Look down and see fans that have not just been alumni here, but parents of alumni or parents of players that have come far and wide. See Isaac DeJarlis' father down there with a Knights flag tied up to a lacrosse stick, waving it on. Coach Lamb has had 4 sons play at SVU, his twins Devin and Derek. Derek is here. I haven't seen Devin. We obviously have Sean Lamb on the field, and I just saw Jake Lamb down in the stands. wonderful defenseman for the Knights. I love Alumni Weekend, Adam. Seven seconds left to get the ball across midfield. Now 3, now 4. Just going to have to throw it down and hope for the best. Oh, the stick check comes. Brown had that early shot at it. Can't gather it up. So Panthers with 50 seconds left on the shot clock. Trigger their offense. This is Ryan Como. Michael Poteet. No, Como now triggering still. Second, as I mentioned, second leading scorer for the Panthers. Seth Millington is just a beast down there. One-time player of the year in Idaho as a senior. And this one will go off the stick of Como. The Knights being super aggressive with their defense. Just feeling like these are situations when you feel like you're the superior athletic team, you have the privilege of really going hard. It looks like there's going to be a penalty on the Knights. Shot clock will reset to 60 seconds. New rule this year. Doesn't go back to 80. It goes to 60 anytime it resets. Second man-up opportunity afternoon for the Panthers. They'll trigger their offense. Crash into a 1-4. Rotation. And that shot, I know, looking at Brody and putting his out, he was all over that. There wasn't a lot of pace on that as the shot, as it was being taken by Story, he was just fading away. He was literally falling backwards. And it looked like Brody was almost trying to grab it and take off. He's just beside himself. But the play works out as they want to run a little wheel play to the left hand of Story, who is a left-handed player.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to use his right arm. And I think he actually, because the shot was a little slower than he might have expected, nice pass. Oh, just a little behind JT, but because there wasn't a lot of pace on the shot, it might have snuck in between his body and his right arm. It looked like it caught some jersey, and that's how it barely trickled into the net.
Turnover on the face-off, intercepted from the long stick from the defender, Brad Gardner. Now a stoppage in play. Not sure why they stopped. That was going to be a great opportunity for Sean Lamb.
Yeah, it was the shot clock.
They didn't reset it, so the refs stop it. They're trying to give the Knights more time, but then you take away an opportunity. It feels like there should be some discretion on that. Oh, what a find to Gabe King. Better save from Bohr. Now trying to clear is Travis McDonald. Unable to get the ball into the stick of Story. However, his teammate is 21, Peyton Gale, the freshman attackman from Noonan, Georgia.
Turn on the Jets. We haven't seen those wheels from him today.
And then Como just thrown out of bounds by Michael Brown. Recent addition to the Knights team from Northern Virginia. His first semester here in Buena Vista. Knights with the easy clear. And the Knights will run their second midfield on. Hackey, Gardner, and big number 30, Landon Barney. Cross his body, just couldn't get his hips turned downfield. When you come across the midfield like that. We call it a Z-line dodge, a Z-line imaginary line down the middle of the field from goal to goal. And when you drive Z-line that, you really want to turn your hips down. And Gabe King, back to his left hand, he's a left-handed player, curls out of that, a question mark dodge, and then doesn't take the shot, gets a little bit deeper underneath his defender, and just able to finish on the lower left side of the goalie. More about placement on that shot than about speed.
Yeah, and it all starts again with just his power, just bodying Brennan Oates, the whole dodge. Not going to beat anyone with speed, Gabe King, but understands that and uses his body well. Don't want to compare him to Zach Daneman, but Daneman-esque, knowing how to use your body, which is great to see out of a freshman. He's only going to get stronger, get quicker, and smarter especially.
Yeah, Zach Daneman, the Knights' second all-time leading scorer behind Sean Lamb, point getter, and graduated last year.
Sure, Zach is probably tuning in right now.
Yeah, he has done a lot recently for this Knights program as his company, Aptive, which is a pest control company, very successful out of Utah. He's out there now in management, has done some amazing support for the Knights, even to help them with some equipment and things like that. Now with things opening up for players and teams, he's able to donate and really help out his alumni, as an alumni, help out his former team. I'm not sure you really want to go and challenge Seth Millington on that great find. Schmidt and Eric Knorr just seem to have a bit of a connection, just looking for each other all the time. Knorr really developed last year a sense of where to be. He wasn't an initiator for the Knights last year, but did a great job finding space and getting his hands free. The Knights now getting to double digits, 10-3. It looked like it was a 4-goal deficit, 6-2, LaGrange with a bit of momentum. But the oppressive nature of the Knights' ride and defense has not allowed much to happen. For great face-off from Jaden Arnold. Not allowed a lot to happen recently for the Panthers. And the Knights' offense has just been pouring it on, putting the pressure in transition as well as the 6-on-6. Oh, Michael Brown wanted that shot, staying out there, trying to put, again, immediate pressure in transition as the Panthers were trying to sub. And now he'll come off. So 45 seconds left on the shot clock. First line midfield in. Eric Knorr will trigger down the right side. Trying to find Gabe King. Bounces into the hands. Fake pass. And the underhand shot from Ty Veers. A little sneaky play. Doing a great job shielding the defender with his body. Able to get his hands free in a tight space. And there's another cut from Eric Knorr with a pass from Tennyson Schmidt. They just seem to find each other really well. Knorr is doing so well moving off ball as that dodge from Tennyson up the left-hand side drew some attention from Knorr's defender, and Knorr just cuts in behind him. Gets off a 6-yard shot, puts it perfectly into the upper left corner. 11th goal. Merwin gets beat on that faceoff, but checks the stick, and they're going to get either a push or a cross check here. We'll see what the referee's going to call.
Yeah, probably going to be a push with possession. Oh, actually, they're going to get sending both of. Yeah. Getting Merwin on the push with possession. Looked like the ref was talking to Justin Mitchell there for a second. A little unsure what was going on, but it is just going to be the push with possession.
So third opportunity for man up. Scored on their last one. Didn't even get a shot off on the first one. See how they play this. It's 30 seconds, not a lot of time to trigger. Starting in an open set, moving into a 2-3-1. So they're going to try to get it over to Story for that left hand. Goes cross crease. Can't connect with Como. Now he does. And what a great save. Covering the 5-hole from Brody. His best save of the afternoon. And JT Cotrier, one-man clearing machine, just doing the punt return clear, which is great to have when you're man down. You have that short stick that can run past everybody. Such a luxury. Early transition, Tennyson Schmidt looked like he had an opportunity to his left hand to get that shot off. Decides discretion is the better part of valor. Now he'll dodge down the left-hand side. Nice look to swing it to the weak side. Great save from Boris. Sean Lamb got to the island for that shot. Physical play right now from both sides. Early pass right to the hands of Como. He found Story coming across the crease, and then a diving save from Caleb Brody. Maybe the best save that Caleb Brody has ever made in his life as a goalie. The athleticism and the awareness to go up against that shot was incredible, and he is hyped, really excited as a flag goes down. Knights had the ball, so we'll see. It looked like it should be a penalty. They're going to call an unsportsmanlike on Seth Millington. I think he was so excited and really I think Seth was letting Aiden Story know about that save. That's what it looked like. The referee was there, pointed back to it. He'll put a non-releasable 1-minute unsportsmanlike against Seth Millington.
Again, why was the play not blown?
Yeah, that's why I couldn't figure out. The play was still going on. I'm not sure why the referee allowed the play to continue. It should have been blown dead as soon as he threw the flag, since the Knights had the ball.
That's 2 weeks in a row now. We've had that same discussion.
Coach Lamb trying to get some clarification. Right. He's actually saying the same thing. Why are we still playing? What's going on down at this end? I think both coaches would like to have the play called appropriately. As you mentioned, head coach Brandon Sewell, I think he's saying the same thing. How come you allowed the play to continue? And man up, 1 minute. It's non-releasable, which means even if they score a goal, normally the penalty's released and they go back to all even. Now the power play would continue. Fake pass, quick shot from Story. Doesn't find its mark. 30 seconds left in the penalty. As the Panthers reset. Run a different play now. Into this 1-4 throwback. Great job by the defense to get stick on the ball. Man down, that's the thing you try. And the pickoff from Garrison Cook. And then incredibly athletic play with the pole. Gets it to JT Cotrier. I have been so impressed with the progress and the growth of Garrison Cook as a defender. Sean Lamb doing a really nice job leaning into his defender, initiating the contact, enabling his hands to be free. Just misses a little high. And then the find and the slick finish. Tennyson to Bean off of the great pass from, I think that was Gabe King getting the hockey assist, which actually isn't a stat that is tracked in lacrosse. But both, you'll see that in that conversation, that language used in basketball as well as lacrosse. It's a stat that should be tracked because often it's the hockey assister that makes the play, initiating, generating the offense. The pass before the pass that leads to the goal. Great face-off from Jaden Arnold. Really pretty dominant at the face-off X right now. It's hard. Sorry, go ahead.
Knights are just going to have 10 seconds here to try and get another quick one before halftime.
6 seconds left. Pass down low on the save. Arnold he wanted that goal. Not able to finish. He was in a really low corner down there. It was going to be a tough finish for him. Not a lot of goal to shoot at. Would have been his first goal of the season. He does have 3 shots. That's his 4th shot on the season. No goals yet. Really wanted that one. I'm sure family back home thrilled to see that shot. Wanted to see him score, but nonetheless, his job is to get the ball in the hands of his offense, and he's doing a phenomenal job at it. Looking over the stats, Adam, face-offs stand out, 13-4 for the Knights. Ground balls overall really dominated by the Knights, 22-10. Turnovers, not a huge discrepancy, 12 for the Panthers, 8 for the Knights. The Panthers are 1 for 4 on man-up. The Knights have yet to have a man-up experience.
How about 48 shots? 48 shots and a half. That last year, the Knights averaged 48 shots per game. This year, a little more at 49.6. That's in a half. We still have another 30 minutes of lacrosse to play.
Put that in perspective, Adam. That's a symptom of what's going on. Why is that happening? What's causing that number of shots?
Well, you talked about it a little bit with face-offs. We know in lacrosse, no matter who scores, always going to go back to the face-off X. So if you're dominant at the face-off X, which Jaden Arnold has been really all year and especially today, they're going to have more possessions. They're also backing up their shots. They're just playing SVU lacrosse. We know the offense is not going to take their time. They're going to be quick. And because of that, you're going to get more shots per possession, especially today. And they're just letting them fly. And they're having fun doing it. And Nick attested to that with him being down there on the sideline. This is the type of game that you want to be a player in.
And the type of game you want your alumni to come back and watch.
Exactly.
So we have about 9 minutes to go in the half break, halftime break. We'll come back in about 7, spend some time saying hello to some of the alumni down there. Hopefully everybody will come back and watch the end of this Knights contest versus the LaGrange College Panthers. We're back live just in time for the face-off, the start of the second half, as Jaden Arnold making it look easy, getting that ball to long stick midfielder Michael Brown. And then off to Carter Bean, and the Knights will get their offense on. First line midfield, Eric Knorr, Ty Veers, and Sterling Thatcher, young freshman player. Thatcher out of Utah, as a number of these Knights players are. Thatcher, a product. Oh, sorry, Thatcher is from Arizona. I apologize to the Thatcher family. He went from Vail, Arizona. Not from Utah. Back to his strong right hand. You really don't want to let Ty Veers roll. Back to the Z line, get to that right hand. So it'll be interesting, Adam, to see how the Knights will come out. They just came out so strong in the first quarter, putting a lot of pressure on, and then score 6 again in the second. Strong physical defense against Shang Lam. A really good job from Josh Hill, the junior defenseman from Port Richey, Florida. Went to Calvary Christian High School.
That's going to reset the shot clock off the pipe from Gabe King. They do get the shot clock reset and brought back into play by Eric Knorr.
As you see the Piedmont women's lacrosse team coming up from the road into the fields, as the Knights able to get the first goal of the second half. Sterling Thatcher.
Yeah, this time he is able to get that jump shot. Got a little more power on this one compared to the one that he had in the first quarter.
Yeah, good job by the Knights just to find each other. Getting up strong over the top, and this time going hard off stick to the goalie's left hand. Way over the top, bringing power. It's hard for the goalie to track. And that'd be Sterling's third goal of the season, his 6th point. Face-off one and into the hands of the offense for the Panthers. Trying to trigger quickly. Lucky to keep control of that one. It trickles all the way to the attack into the hands of Peyton Gale. They're going to call a ward. You know, that's always an interesting ward call when the defender gets underneath the arm of the offensive player and lifts up that arm. Really, as an offensive player, you're just trying to get your hand out of the way. Good find from Lamb to Schmidt, but Schmidt unable to finish. You're just trying to get that arm out of the way. To me, that looked like the case right there. Sometimes it looks to the refs like you're warding off, you're pushing the stick away. They call a warding on Como, and now into the hands of DeJarlis down there talking with his dad. Was here last week in the frigid cold, and what a difference a week makes. As this, what is it, 75 degrees out there, Adam? It's gorgeous. What a day for lacrosse. And you should go follow the men's lacrosse Instagram if you haven't. There's some really cool videos out there that Kiwi Giroux, alum of the men's lacrosse, alum of the men's lacrosse team, and also the director of the Knights social media efforts here at SVU. Slide comes to Sean. He's going to try to get underneath. Can't quite get there. Good move by Gabe King. He steps upfield, draws the defender's right foot, and then cuts hard back underneath. keeping the stick in his left hand, using that big, strong body, able to get in front of the crease, and finishes with no consequence.
Yeah, and you mentioned a little bit earlier that Gabe King over the past couple months, and I would even say over the past couple weeks, has really come along. Really struggled the first 2 games against really good opponents, much better defenses, just some really good lacrosse. But really, the past 3 games has really stepped up. Mentioned it a hat trick in the last game for him. As there's another goal for the Knights, another bounce shot for Ty Veers coming down this near side hash.
So doing the same thing there, gets down, left-handed dodge, but what he wants to do is get underneath the defender, put the stick back into his strong right hand, and basically a mirror shot of what he did in the first quarter. Great technique. It's a great dodge for somebody who's got a lot of speed like Ty Veers. Jaden Arnold, clear win off the clamp, puts it forward, pinch and pop.
Yeah, Ty elected to go 5-hole on that one. Didn't want to go all the way around the goalie.
Yeah, too far. Carter Bean will stay out there with, looks like Eric Knorr is out along with Ty Veers. He'll square off against Ben Bryan.
Sean might have had a little too much time on that one to pick his spot in his corner.
Bean subs off for Thatcher. Josh Hill has done a pretty respectable job against Sean Lamb. Nice save by Bohr. The adjacent slide, the adjacent help from Travis McDonald allowed Ty Veers to be open. That's just a dangerous slide. When you're sliding to somebody's eyes adjacently, you're really asking for that pass to come. It can be really quick. It's only like an 8-yard pass, and how do you recover from that? You've got to have help behind you, and there is no help coming on that. It's just a dangerous way to help. Sean Lamb will put the ball over to Schmidt as they do a little pick action. Schmidt with the roll and throw back. Now Lamb has a short stick. Quickly into Thatcher, and Thatcher finishes over the top of the shoulder of Bohr. Great job recognizing the mismatch. Quick slide came from the upfield Z-line slide. Thatcher with a crash cut down to the crease. Finds himself open, a great pass, good handles, turn and finish. It's really hard to handle that situation. It was created by the initial pick play with Schmidt, and then you end up with a short stick on Sean Lamb, and that is not a good situation.
Yeah, when Lamb had the ball against the shorty, you just saw all eyes on Lamb, and that made for an easy little slip cut as that pass is dropped by Isaac, who would have had a good opportunity to get another goal for the Knights.
I think he wanted that one really bad. The 10-man ride was in effect. Knights come up with the ball.
It was a good stick check by Caleb Brody there.
Which he had to do. Oh, shot from Seth Millington. Misses low and away. If it was baseball, it would not have been called a strike. I like the shot, though. It's a great shot because you do not want the goalie saving that with a defender 70 yards from the crease on his defensive end.
Looks like they're going to set up a little sweep for Bryce.
Getting to his left hand, fighting off the check of Will Howell. Throws back to Lamb. Two lefties working over there, and Lamb, what a neat shot from him, going down to his right hand. Gets close.
Yeah, probably caught Bohr off guard there. Probably was expecting that little fadeaway, put it in his left hand that we've seen him score on a couple times already today.
A good initiating play from Gardner. We don't see many right-handed shots out of Lamb. He really likes getting to his left. That was a great location shot. Jaden Arnold just owning the face-off circle like it was his job. That was a weird pass. Michael Brown and Carter Bean not on the same page. Fortunately, Sean Lamb grabs the errant ball, and Knights will get their second line midfield on.
Yeah, looking to start this third quarter just like they did the first. That's just a great move. Just so quick on his turn there. Causes the LaGrange defender to fall to his feet. We're going to have a flag and a timeout.
Probably might be another unsportsmanlike. Maybe a bench foul. I don't know. He's going to his. It looks like it's going to be a 30-second technical against LaGrange. So that dodge. So Tension Schmidt puts the stick in his left hand, gets what we would call skinny, which is that situation which we've seen Ty Veers do, where you dodge down the side, but then you get underneath your defender. We call it getting skinny. But the defender played it pretty well, and I really like it when Schmidt shows patience out there, whether it's on his shot, especially on his dodges. He had a shot. It was going to be a low-angle shot, and Bohr's playing well. So he looks like he's going to just take that dodge and carry it behind the cage. Defender, who just was picking up too much speed and wanted to catch up, Schmidt puts on the brakes, and that causes the defender to kind of fumble, goes falling down, and immediately Schmidt is maybe a yard and a half from GLE, steps upfield, and does what he does really well, which is get his stick around the corner of the cage and is able to finish.
And the Knights do start the third quarter just like they did the first on a 6-0 run, which stretches it all the way to 10 goals now with the 4-0 run at the end of the first half.
And the Knights with their first man up, running a little, just a kind of a circle mirror play with 3 players moving around the crease, and the LaGrange defenders doing not really recognizing where the danger spots were in that play, and the quick feed to Sean Lamb, he's able to finish.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit in the last matchup that the Knights man up has really started to pick it up in the past few games. They are now above 33%, 8 of 24 coming into this one, so now going to be 9 of 25. Going to improve their percentage even a little more.
Yeah, sitting there right about 35, 36%, which isn't necessarily something you're going to write home about, but it is very respectable. It's not going to be tops in the country, but a very respectable number. If you're getting 1 out of 3, you're doing pretty well. The top teams are closer to 50%. Michael Brown going through 3 players and then able to put the ball past Bohr. What a great dodge, drive, clear, the whole kit and caboodle from Michael Brown.
And we were waiting for the long stick goal. We've seen one for the Knights the past, I want to say this is going to be the fourth game in a row now where the Knights have a long stick goal, but they're going to wave it off.
So again, I think they're saying the referee's signaling that somebody went into the goalie. You can't touch the goalie, and I think that's what they're going to say happened.
Well, Michael Brown did go into the crease, but it was about 2 seconds after he scored, and Bohr was 3 yards outside the crease.
Well, and so technically there's also that circle, that the hockey circle. And then the finish, a great finish from Will Howe, who decides that a couple push-ups are warranted. You're going to get your workout in along with playing some lacrosse. What a change of momentum with a long stick midfielder scoring and then not scoring.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I guess I don't know enough about that, of the new rule and how they're reading that rule and officiating, because he clearly did not hit Bohr. Bohr was well outside the cages, and it was, like as you said, 2 or maybe even 3 full steps after the shot, but he does end up well inside the crease. I just don't understand how they're deciding to officiate that in terms of keeping the goalie safe.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point of the goal mouth, was to put a rule in place to keep the goalie safe. But if the goalie's not in the goal mouth where they're supposed to be, then you can't make that call. And I don't even know if he ended up in the goal mouth. He was clearly
came
in
across
the crease,
the edge.
but he was on the near side.
Gabe King in his right hand. He's going to come back to his left. Good defensive position by Josh Hill, the junior from Port Richey. You see Zach Sullivan out there. His parents are here all the way from California. Sullivan from Murrieta, California, went to Chaparral High School. Thatcher, who has a couple goals on the afternoon, unable to create his own shot. And that's not a shot from 11 yards coming across the middle of the field that you want to give Ty Veers. He's put a lot of goals in over the last couple of years with that shot.
That shot from the freshman from Bountiful, Utah, Tanner McCurdy, forces the save from Bohr. Going to reset the shot clock to 60 seconds for the Knights.
The Knights running some motion offense up top while Eric Knorr dodged in an invert set.
Tried the no-look shot there. Maybe get his head up and find his teammate Sully, who's across the crease wide open.
Now, great turn and shot from Zach Sullivan.
Ty will find him for you.
If Knorr's not going to do it, then Ty Veers will do it for you, as ordered.
And I'm not saying Eric Knorr shouldn't have shot that ball. He did get into a good spot. We're just so used to seeing Tenney coming up from X and either going to do a circus shot or find an open teammate.
And good technique from Sullivan, catching the ball right-handed, leaving it in his strong hand, turns his hips, quickly gets that underhand shot off. Technical foul called, so possession for LaGrange, but the ball thrown away immediately and now into the hands of Landon Roylance, who's come in for Brody. Roylance, though, just getting in the second half, he's had the lion's share of minutes, 158 minutes, by far the most minutes of any of the Knights goalies, again, due to the injury of Caleb Brody.
Refs getting together. Ball was really overthrown to Bryce Gardner, but Will Howell on this near sideline took out Bryce Gardner, but
Flag will be
no
weighed
foul.
off.
Yeah,
They're going to say he was within an appropriate distance. And Sullivan in on as an attackman along. I think Thatcher's running attack also. And now the clear. Knights were offsides. Didn't look like it would be called for it. Coming in from behind. Quickly getting in for the check was Jason Ciosi, who backup goalkeeper for the Knights, but he's really he's a defender as well. That's the position that he played when he first stepped on a lacrosse field for the Knights. So he's out there playing defense.
No backup on JT's shot. No, he's been working on that in and outside of practice because of his athleticism. Been able to get into a lot of really good spots. Wants to find the back of the net, just as Michael Petit, sophomore from Evans, Georgia, does on that one for the Panthers.
Right, the Greenbrier High School product. Nice little shot. The find coming off of the roll dodge in the clear. Great job finding each other, and that was a pretty shot. Hard for Roylands to pick it up as he had a couple Knights defenders coming in and out of his field of vision, kind of in front of him. I don't think he ever really saw the shot. But the clear from Celeste Richardson, the sophomore from Charlotte. They have a number of these players, these kind of smaller 5'7", 5'8". Technical foul against Michael Brown. Is that they're calling that the third violation? And the Knights will be able to test their man down again. Sure, something that defensive coordinator Greg Gowdy's happy to do. If you're up 20-5, this is something that you don't really want those man down numbers, but Garrison Cook doing a great job putting the pressure on, forcing the play to expand instead of shrink, which as a man up, you want to pass and shrink. Pass and shrink, pass and shrink, moving ever closer. This is going to be an over and back. Aggressive defense can force a man up to expand when they're really trying to contract and get themselves into shooting positions. The Knights will kill off that penalty. The Panthers will be just 1 of 5 on the afternoon in their man up. Gabe King getting to his left hand. Trail check comes just in the nick of time. Good trail check from Josh Hill. Josh has done a great job against the lefties of the Knights. That pass will make its way over the midfield line. It'll be an over and back. Offense quickly triggered. And a great knockdown from Ciosi. Reading that pass, stepping out. He's one of the top linebackers in Conference USA. He read that one. He's reading the quarterback's eyes. Very aggressive play. Fantastic save by Roylands. Flag will go down. I'm going to call the Knights for being a bit aggressive, either a push, cross check. Yeah, they're just going to call a push. With 1:31 left, the Knights will go on their 6th man down. It'll be against Brad Gardner as he'll take a knee in the box. Power play will commence in a 1-4 with a vertical stack on the crease by the Panthers. Last time out of this, they popped a man low. There'll be a carry, and you'll see 22 roll out of this. Now he'll push the ball back up to the left side. He'll try and get the ball. Yeah, good cross crease feed. It was a solid ground ball from Dominic King, but the check puts his stick on the ground. It'll stay LaGrange ball, but the penalty is over. Double team coming out of the box. Michael Brown doing a good job with that hockey, knocking the ball upfield, and then Carter Bean in a fast break. And a great shot from Sullivan for his second goal. Gabe King was hanging out behind the cage, not really where you want to be in a transition fast break. So there was really no place for Sullivan to go in terms of passing the ball. However, he's sitting at about 7 yards in the hash, decides to take matters into his own hands. King needs to push up on that to give Sullivan a pass as they pick on that low defender in a 2-on-1 situation. Sullivan with a great shot, sticks it just inside the near pipe. 40 seconds left. 21-5, the Knights with a 9-goal explosion in this third quarter. Peyton Merwin getting the face-off, and the Knights will have another chance. Number of substitutes coming in. You see Andrew Cole, normally plays attack, out of Cache, Oklahoma. He's on the field in this second line now, kind of a mix of jumble with Landon Barney, and the feed not able to catch and finish with Sullivan from Thatcher. Got an Oklahoma player. I think he's the Knights' very first Oklahoma player. You look down the roster for the Knights, it's a hodgepodge, a cornucopia of states and territories across the country. Utah, Maryland, Oregon, Texas, California, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, North Dakota, South Carolina, Colorado, Virginia, Arizona, Oklahoma, Idaho, and then many of those repeated. So just one or two players from Virginia for the Knights. So we've got another opportunity to have a conversation with a Knight alum. This one being Mike Bangeter, player who graduated a while ago relative to Nick Baer, who just recently graduated. Mike, it's great to have you back home, right? That's what Nick said. He said, felt like he was coming back home.
It's good to be home. Oh, it's excellent.
Tell us about you and what's going on. Let's go back, actually. When was your last year playing?
So I graduated in spring of 2016. That was the first year the team was in the CAC tournament, which was really fun. So I came in 2014. The team went 1 and I don't know however many. We never won a conference game.
16, right?
1 and 16.
It was. We won the last game. That was the first year the Knights were in the NCAA. And you were part of that original class, and then stayed and graduated. Part of that foundational building component for the Knights, leading to what we see here, leading 21-5. Fun game to watch, right?
Yeah, it's been a very fun game to watch. Seen a lot of good things out of a lot of young players who are just kind of getting into the program, which is really exciting to see.
So your interests are eclectic and varied.
You could say that.
What have you been doing over the last 5 years?
Last 5 years, I ended up going to George Washington University for a master's degree. I graduated in the winter of 2019. So I graduated right as COVID started. I was really fortunate to get a job right before COVID started. And so I've been working for a company based out of Washington, D.C., though I'm full-time remote now. And I live in beautiful Laverkin, Utah.
Laverkin, Utah. So talk to me about those early years as a Knights lacrosse player and kind of what that was like for you and the team.
Yeah, I was talking about this with Kiwi yesterday. Another alum, I'm sure a lot of people out there listening know who he is.
Running our social media
Running
here
the
at
social
Knightsnet.
media, yeah.
Doing a fantastic job. Check out the Knights Instagram page.
Check out their Instagram page. He's the premier lacrosse videographer in the world. Works with the PLL from time to time. Has worked with some really great athletes. Anyway.
Nice plug and not overstated, by the way.
Yeah, no. So the first couple of years, we were talking about this last night. The program obviously was not competitive on any level. We won one game. We didn't lead in a game until our last game of the season. But we had a really good foundation of work ethic. Kiwi worked hard. I worked hard. A lot of other people who stuck it out in the program worked really hard. And that laid the base for what would eventually be a very successful team in 2016. The attitude wasn't necessarily, hey, we're going to go out there and win a game, but we're going to go out and we're going to work really hard, and we're going to outwork everyone until we are on their same level.
I mean, the goalie for that first team in 2014 was a pickup from the baseball team, the catcher,
Tyler Cox,
who had more saves than any other goalie in the Capital Athletic Conference in 2014 because the ball was never on the offensive side of the field.
Holds the record for saves in a game. I think he holds the record for saves in a season. He was probably only at 50% on the year. I mean, it's a good percentage, but yeah, faced a lot of shots.
And talk about how that you feel like the time here helped you move forward with the rest of your life over the last 5 years.
Oh, I mean, it's been absolutely foundational in every way. I was very involved on campus. I was on the lacrosse team. There's a goal for LaGrange.
That great shot there. I mean, you gotta talk about Aiden's story and that finish on the man out. The Knights were offsides. They went man down. The fine across the crease to Aiden's story and able to finish against Roy Lance. The Knights need to do a little bit better job in rotating through that. They had their starters in, so I know Coach Gowdy's going to be able to use that film to get better. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, it laid a foundation in a lot of ways. It gave me first a work ethic. I've never been as busy as I was my senior year. I was in the orchestra. I was part of the student government. I was captain of the lacrosse team. It was a little overwhelming, but at the same time, it gave me a really great belief in the fact that, hey, you know what? I've been pushed by Coach Lamb to succeed this well. I can continue to succeed, and that's gotten me to a lot of places. And then it also gave me a really great network. I told this story to the team last night. I came back and coached for a year in 2017. And when I was here in 2017, I knew I was going to be going to grad school, and I looked around the campus and I said, who's someone who can help me get to where I want to go? And he's not involved with the university anymore, but a Harvard graduate. He worked at BYU for years. He's doing postdoc work at Harvard every other year. His name is Madison Sowell. I saw him and I went, you know what? That guy can probably help me. So I was just able to message him. What a goal.
Great spin move from JT Couturier. He's done so much work over the game and clearing the ball. We've seen him just run people over, do the punt clear return. Awesome to see him rewarded with that spin move and finish in front of the crease.
Yeah, he does a lot of the things that are not necessarily recognized as being beneficial to this team, so it's nice to get him recognition for once.
Things that I feel like you did back in the day, working
a little
hard,
bit.
Not necessarily things that would get recognized, although you were one of our best offensive players, but really working hard in transition. So keep going. So Madison Sowell, who, by the way, is still around the university. I actually go to church with Madison, see him every Sunday.
Yeah, so I messaged him and just said, hey, do you need a research assistant? I had had lunch with him once. I didn't know him well, but I knew that he was someone who would probably be willing to help. So I talked with him, and basically I went over to his house. We had a chat, and he says, you know what, I can find you research in exactly what you want to study at grad school, and that'll make you really, really, really competitive. He ended up writing me a recommendation letter. He found me really great research opportunities. And I ended up getting into an incredible grad program. I was able to get a degree. And then, I don't necessarily work in my field. I got a degree in American Studies, and I work in accounting. But I directly contribute the fact that I ended up where I am to the fact that I was able to get a degree from George Washington.
So I did. The people that know you would laugh at the idea of you doing accounting. We think of you more as a mountain man who's more comfortable hanging out with bears than with mathematicians or accountants, but sounds like you're doing really well.
Best of all worlds.
Best of all worlds. Well, Mike, thrill for me to see you again. One of my favorite all-time players. I've had a chance to coach and be around.
Make me blush.
Yeah, well, you're an equality man, the kind of university, just like we talked about Nick Bear, the kind of man that we would love for the university to hold up as spotlight and said, this is what a SVU player represents, especially from the lacrosse standpoint as well. Appreciate you coming to talk with us. Enjoy your time with the team, and thanks for giving us a good background on where you've been.
Yeah, appreciate it, Scott. It's good to be here.
So going into this fourth quarter, Knights up 22-6. We've seen some up and down play. really a great opportunity for Knights to have backups in. This man-up play has all the starters back in as – oh, no, take it back. It's not the starters. The coach is letting the second group of man-up players handle this man-up. That's really good. I like Coach Lamb's doing that. These guys work hard in practice, too, and good opportunities. What a great turn. Almost another similar goal to that quick shot that Zach Sullivan seems to be very proficient at. Great clear. New goalie in for the Panthers, Joshua Hargrove, doing a really good job finding Celestis Richardson on that clear in a man-down situation. The quicker you can get that ball out of your stick and upfield, the more likely you are to get that ball across midfield when you're man down.
Good job by Richie Johnson, sophomore from Hershey, Pennsylvania, laying out there to block the shot. At least got enough on it to send it wide.
It's so interesting seeing Ciosi out there. The Knights overall, their defenders they're a lean group. They're pretty tall, but a lean group. And then you've got this linebacker Ciosi who has spent a lot of time in the weight room. Polynesian background. And you just see how strong and thick he is out there as a defender with that long stick. It's awesome to see him back on a situation where I feel like he's really comfortable. Throwing some hard checks, quick passing, spacing not the greatest, so there wasn't much to do after the ball got in the hands of Peyton Gale. Doing a good job getting that ground ball to Peyton. And Michael Poteet trying to create against DeJarlis. And we get a shot clock violation. Sorry about not counting that down. Roy Lance quickly on the ball. Up ahead to Bryce Gardner. Mentioned his brother Brad as well, number 33 defender. Awesome job putting the ball in a tic-tac-toe position. A little gritty action down on the crease. Celebrate when you can, young man. Celebrate when you can. That was Davis Grant, normally a defensive midfielder, freshman from Front Royal, Virginia, getting the finish, taking advantage of his opportunity, and the whole team congratulating him. That goal is as pretty as the lettuce out the back of his helmet. And I believe Peyton Merwin now at the face-off dot goes up against number, I think it was 29. Couldn't quite tell who was taking the face-off for LaGrange. I think it was Jacob Jeffords.
Yep, Jacob Jeffords.
Quick ground ball and shot from Sullivan. Best thing about Sullivan's play is he's got really quick hands when the ball's in his stick, does a really nice job of getting it out, and varies the shot. He's got an underhand, he's got a sidearm, he's got an overhand shot. Coming out of California, he's worked really hard on that. Opportunity, I think, to really develop for him. Needs to continue to be in the weight room, but he's got skill sets to come out and be a real contributor. Just a sophomore. But, lived through the high school time, his senior year. That's the pandemic time. Just that wreaked havoc on all those seniors from 2020 and even into 2021. Across the way, you see the women's Knights lacrosse team making their way over to the lower field to do some practice at 4 o'clock. They'll face off against Piedmont. Conference game for them. Hopefully you'll join us for that. Landon Barney, yet to score today, finds Thatcher. Hitches, goes through 2, bounces over the cage. As he grows and matures, that shot, you don't see many shots in college that, at least at higher levels, the inside roll gets checked out from against Connor Hackey, former attackman for the Knights, now playing midfield. you don't see many shots bounced over the cage. It's just not, you just don't see that kind of shot very often. A great ride by the Knights. Landon Barney and Connor Hackey doing a great job teaming up. It was so hard against Ben Bryan. You're out there on kind of on an island all alone. Barney past the feet of Hackey, who now spin moves and finally gets a shot off, but really fantastic save from Joshua Hargrove. Double team again from Hackey and Barney. Looks like Casey Gibson struggling to get that ball eventually into the hands of Barney. Money pass down low to Sullivan. Sullivan into the running arms, and awaiting for that was Jason Ciosi.
What an unselfish play by Sullivan.
Yeah, he could have taken that one straight to the cage. Yet chose to find his defender streaking down the field. No idea why Ciosi was pushing that ground ball over on the far side and just decided to keep going. Smart play. You love it when defensemen have an offensive mentality.
And now we can say we've had a long stick goal today after the first one was wiped off.
Ciosi out there. Here's Jex Meekum, defender from Idaho. Eagle Idaho High School product. Normally plays long stick midfield. He's out here as an LSM right now. I think that's where they're putting him. And he covering the midfielder Michael St. John, a sophomore from Sharpsburg, Georgia. Both teams kind of empty their benches. You'll see starters mixed in and out. On defense here, Colton Stanley, the midfielder from Grapevine, Texas. Now into the hands of Carter Bean, and he will fly past all the players for LaGrange. And Hackey with an opportunity to catch and finish underneath from Bryce Gardner. Can't do it. Does fight. Gets the ground ball over to Carter Bean, who will fire and miss. 64 seconds left on the shot clock. Don't really ever call out the shot clock when the Knights have the ball. I can't remember the last. I don't think they've had a shot clock violation this season, at least not at home. I don't think we've seen one at home. Maybe one?
I think just one. Don't see it very often, though. You're right, Coach.
Bryce Gardner will move it up to Thatcher, shooting around the defender Will Howell. Howell from McDonough, Georgia. So many Georgia players on this LaGrange roster. Obviously a Georgia school. Hackey trying to find the stick of number 14, Curtis Drennan. Drennan, a freshman from Fairmont, West Virginia, following on the heels of his brother Tyler Drennan, a former player here at Southern Virginia University. Followed his wife out to Utah as she went to dental hygiene school. I know they're just finishing up out there. Hopefully Tyler Drennan is watching his brother play. I know the Drennan family watches all of these games. Fantastic family. His sister was a swimmer at the University of Delaware and really, really fast. And we get a shot off from Curtis Drennan. Didn't get all the power behind that there you would like, but the backup with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Connor Hackey will trigger. Double team comes. Got to find the open man. Back to Gardner on the point shot and over the cage. Dropped his hands a little bit. Sails it high. 2 seconds left. They'll just ice the ball as the shot clock expires. Now they're going to have to try and clear. Will the Panthers? They do not. Ground ball from Gardner. And it really feels like the Panthers have they're struggling right now to bring the intensity. Not really backing up shots. They have an opportunity to back up. Great catch. I think that ball was deflected. Caught anyway by Andrew Cole. As I mentioned, Oklahoma native. Knights not really in a 10-man right now. Everybody shut off. Ball all the way down to Roy Lance, who gets run over. Ball on the ground. Picked up by Caden Bloxham, the Frenchman defenseman from South Carolina. Went to Indian Land High School. Can't finish the clear. But he does get credit for a ground ball, getting in the books. The speedy Richardson finds Story on the low block, but Story fades a little far away. He needs to catch that and kind of curl in to finish. We'll get a timeout. Both teams looking a little ragged, a little tired. I think for the Knights, it's just a matter of having a lot of players out there that aren't normally on the field, and so it looks a little ragged, but clearly the Panthers are tired. The up and down has been tough. They've got a little bit smaller team, just in terms of total numbers. More than that, though, you look at Richardson, you look at Howell, Poteet. These guys have been up and down the field. And when you're turning the ball over and you're trying to clear and then you got to go back and play defense all over again, you see the same thing from Ben Bryan. It's just really hard.
And this team is still a really new program. First season was in 2020 that obviously was cut off due to the pandemic. We're 2-6 before the season was canceled. Really struggled last season, 0-7, 0-4 in the conference. And another weird season. But this year, just slowly but surely putting the pieces together. We heard Mike Bangeter talk a little bit about his experience doing exactly that for the Knights. And you've seen these Panthers work really hard. And I'm sure in 4 or 5 years from now, when they're at their alumni game at LaGrange and seeing their team win some games, they're going to be thinking the same thing and going to be happy for their.
Yeah, that first season was so tough, and that basically last year was these guys' first season since the 2020 season got cut short. And, we only won one game in that 2014 year, and then the next year we only won 2. Those were tough seasons. Went to 6 and then to 6, and then it was a building process. I think you'll see the Knights, who were picked to finish first over Pfeiffer, and a goal. They're going to wave it off as Jack Bryan, the senior from Carrollton, Georgia, ran through the crease, and they're going to call him for the violation, and Hackey just missing that upper right corner. But, it took some time. It took effort. You have to have players like you see these players down here. You're going to have a flag down. It's going to be a bench penalty. They're going to throw a second one as Coach Sewell is going to get his money's worth on these 2 penalties. So there'll be bench penalties. They might be served by the same player, so it may only be one player down. He's upset about the crease violation. The Knights have had 2 of those goals called off by kind of mysterious crease violation calls.
And we're going to have to look more into that rule, but my understanding was as long as you do not go into the goal mouth, as long as the ball hits the back of the net before you step into the crease, not in the goal mouth, it's a goal. Is that right?
I'm assuming that's correct. Clearly there's some interpretation going on that we're missing here,
because
Adam.
all three of those goals were exactly that. The ball hit the net, then the player's in the crease. That should have been a goal. Was that Jack Bryan for the
Coach
Panthers?
Sewell has also been ejected since he had 2 unsportsmanlike penalties, and now he's trying to get his money's worth, and the referee's like, you're going to have to stop. I'm going to throw another flag. But can you throw a flag on somebody that doesn't exist? He's not actually he doesn't exist. He's been ejected. Theoretical question for existentialists to answer. Are there athletic existentialists? Is that a master's degree? Athletic existentialism. I feel for Coach Sewell, who is frustrated, I'm sure. When you're down 19, you just had a goal wiped off. You want to fight for your team. These penalties are non-releasable. It's a total of a 2-minute penalty on one player. So the Knights will be only one man down, as we'll see Howell will go out. So it's 2 penalties on the bench, the in-home player they call him, which in this case is Peyton Gale. So the Knights will have 2 minutes of non-releasable time to try and get a goal or 2. Really, this is just about working on your stuff. Great save. And then a second incredible save by Hargrove. The first one was good. The second one was magnificent. Then they throw the ball away on the clear. Ball move around. Thatcher, Knights rolling off the crease. Phil with Cole on the crease, and a quick shot. Another fantastic save from Hargrove, playing like an All-American and working hard to clear the ball. It's Josh Hill, and eventually it'll roll out of bounds on the aggressive ride from Landon Barney. He wanted the ball back. He's got a minute of man up left, and he doesn't want to go sit the bench.
Yeah, and that's at least 2 caused turnovers by Landon, maybe his 3rd even on that ride.
Thatcher dodging and man up, not necessarily the thing you want to do. Ground ball missed by Gardner. Scrum ensuing. And Thatcher comes away. Looks like, can't tell if there's no whistle. Players look like they're stopped, and then Thatcher throws it in the stick of Hargrove with a quick outlet to Howell. He's harder to catch than Hill. Not that Hill is slow, but great job from Howell. Clearing the ball, getting down, no slide to him. It was not really any outside. I mean, the Knights defenders could have gone. Nobody did. It didn't look like Howell was looking to feed anybody. He's just running down, basically running for his life.
And you see his parents down there, which I'm assuming are his parents.
We're going to assume the ones with 7 and Howell on the back of their shirt, those guys?
Yes, but them, along with some other Panthers fans, waiting until the goal was confirmed before they started cheering.
Yeah, you cannot celebrate right now.
No.
It should be a push without possession. Getting a little feisty and chippy down on the field as Graham Young, the 5'6", 135-pounder long stick midfielder from Atlanta, Georgia, letting his presence be felt. So the penalty about to expire, so now it's done. Play is all even. The Knights unable to come up with a goal in that 2-minute non-releasable penalty situation. Great feed just kind of a soft moving across the face of the crease, a little bit of what we call a C cut from Jack Bryan. And defender behind him, I believe that was Caden Bloxham. Not really, again, you got to be ball side. When you're covering anybody on the crease, you either have to be able to quickly play the upfield shoulder or be ball side so that you don't give up those easy feeds. This is the second time we've seen that happen this afternoon. Arnold wins another face-off. So LaGrange, in terms of preseason poll, came in out of 10 teams that play lacrosse in the USA South Conference. LaGrange was picked 9th. So, you know, as you mentioned, Adam, it's a building team. Brevard picked 10th out of 10. The Knights just beat Averett, who were picked 8th. So the early challenges for the Knights, I think this has been an advantage for them of just kind of getting their feet wet in conference play, playing some of the lower-seeded teams just in terms of preseason polls. The turnover there from the Knights is a quick transition from Richardson. He'll take the shot. I believe it's a save from Roy Lance.
Tries the behind the back from 7 yards.
Yeah, a little ways out there. No angle shot from Story. He literally was maybe a yard above GLE.
Yeah, I think he had a little more time than he realized as there's 3 seconds on the clock and time will expire.
So with expiration on the clock, as it reaches 00, the Knights will finish 25 points to the good. The Panthers with 8. And it was really pretty much, I don't want to say out of touch in terms of the score for the Panthers in the first quarter, as they had that 6-2 moment when it felt like they might be able to close. But after that, the Knights go on a solid run, end up scoring 12 in the first half, and then a 9-goal explosion in the third quarter put the game well out of reach, which was probably expected, but you got to win the games you're supposed to win. And the Knights step in and do that here on the homecoming weekend for the lacrosse alumni. Great opportunity for the Knights to shine in front of the alumni in their beautiful gray and crimson jerseys. Got to give credit to LaGrange. The Panthers, coached by Coach Sewell, really working hard to improve the program. They're coming out of Georgia. High school lacrosse out of Georgia and Florida is a burgeoning industry, and there will be more and more players to pull from. And I expect nothing but higher and better things from this LaGrange team, Adam.
Yeah, lots of good players on this team, lots of good athletes who just with more time and more games under their belts, really young team, a ton of freshmen, ton of sophomores, more conference games, will just help them out.
So, again, we have the women playing in 2 hours at 4 o'clock. The Knights, just in terms of next opportunities to watch the Knights play, their schedule has Center College on Thursday the 24th, an out-of-conference game sandwiched in between Piedmont and Pfeiffer. The Pfeiffer game on the 2nd is a huge game for the Knights. Pfeiffer picked to finish 2nd in the conference, so kind of the supposed 1-2 teams in the conference. And then after that, Knights will go up against number 4, Christopher Newport, number 4 in the nation. The Knights have yet to beat Christopher Newport, having played them many times as part of the Capital Athletic Conference rivals, foes, and often faced each other not only in the regular season but also in the postseason. So this is an opportunity really for the Knights with Center College and then Piedmont to prepare for 2 games after that, but I'm sure Coach Lamb will just focus on the next one. Again, I'm Scotty Winterton with my colleague and ever faithful alum of this amazing lacrosse program, Adam Peterson. We hope everybody stays safe, take care of each other. God bless.
And go Knights.